You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Artists on Deck. Hey, this is K. Rose, the program director for Yessurr FM and the general manager of the Get Global Network. We've had, a lot of great feedback from people from around the world about the Get Global Network and what we're doing to introduce people to stars that are getting ready to blow, getting ready to get out there, and people that have been in this industry, grinding, working hard. And tonight, again, you are listening to the Get Global Network Artist on Deck series. And tonight we have a young man that is out of the Texas area, if I am correct in assuming and saying that. Person that is, doing some things that we've noticed. He was brought to us by another one of our new affiliate stations, Nexx Level Radio. Shout out to Lapaka. Tonight on the Get Global Network Artist on Deck series, we have Mista Eye. How are you doing, young man?
I'm doing good, man. What's up, world?
And you are definitely talking to the world. I mean, I'm making sure you understand that we've listened to your music because we have your music in rotation also in our area, in Yessurr FM space too. I'm not sure if you even knew that.
I didn't even know that, man. That's awesome, man. I feel blessed, man. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just snuck and did that because you had already. As a network, we hear music from artists from around the country, around the world. Actually, we're getting a lot from the UK now. And if it's something that I like, which is what I've always done since we even started Yessurr FM, the hip hop arm of our network, I've always played music that I felt and that, music that was good. Let me just put it that way. I'm gonna just cut through all the mess tonight, and we play good music. And so if it's something that's hot, we gonna throw it in there. We throwing it in the mix, and that definitely, that song that we just came in on, that song that everybody heard to begin this show, "Money Come My Way," that's hot. And we're getting good feedback from that. I know that you had heard that from the program director on the Nexx Level Radio side also. Where'd you get that concept for that particular song?
Pretty much Money Come My Way. I mean, honestly, man, it's for everybody that grinds. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily got to be you grinding on the streets, grinding. I mean, whatever you do for your kids, for your community, whoever you do it for yourself. I mean, whatever you got to do to make money come your way. That's pretty much where that came from.
All right. Well, like I said, it's a hot track. It's something that the people that are listening to both stations, and soon to be more stations in the Get Global Network, I think people already like it. You basically are going to get other people, hopefully, hitting you from around the world, because that's what we try to do on the Get Global Network. We're trying to expose you to everybody that we can. Let's just get into your beginnings as an artist. And I guess even before that, I always like to start off the show by having the artist tell everyone where they can connect with you on social media or on the internet or email. Just give everyone information on how they can connect with you.
Already, yeah. Like right now, big thing right now is Facebook for me. You can pick me up on Facebook. Just look me up, www.facebook.com/Mista Eye. That's MistaAye. Then same thing on Twitter. It's Mista Eye. Instagram, you can follow me on there. My Gmail, you can hit me up on that. It's 6661 MistaEye @gmail.com. I mean, you can just book me holler at me. I mean, whatever. I'm down to help anybody out. I'm down to work with anybody. You know, that's what it's all about, man. I mean, to me, my slogan is go global but stay local. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing right now. You know, that's just something that I'm doing.
Hey, okay, I'm with you on that. You definitely are part of the Get Global Network, so we definitely feel that. You know, those people that are out there that are rolling around their localities, rolling around their neighborhoods, blasting their music to their people. You need to go global. You need to get outside the box, people. Get outside the bubble of your city.
Yes, sir. That's where it's at, man. Get on the interstates and drive, man. Just cruise, man. Just get out there and see the world, man. It's different when you see it with your own eyes, and then you'll go back and you'll be like, yeah, man, that boy was right.
Yeah, you got to get out there and get away from those people who they like your music because they like you. So you want to expand your horizons. You got to get out there and get some healthy criticism. Get out there and get some people that don't know who the hell you are when you walk in the door, but they definitely know you after you perform and when you leave. And as you do that, you have to invest in your craft, invest in your career. You know, people all the time, this is not 1990 or 1980 or whatever. You are not just going to get signed by sitting on your ace
Nope.
and somebody hearing your music. But you got to have that grind. You got to have that drive, just like you mentioned as we began the show. So, you know, one of the things I want to start off with is who inspires you to continue to work here to build your career? Who is that special someone or those special people that inspire you?
Yeah, man. First, I mean, of course, my kids. You know, that's always going to keep a father or a mother on top of their grind. You know, if that's what comes first. Of course, my girl. She's been my backbone. She hasn't left my side. We've been there from the struggles to now. I mean, you definitely got to have somebody there to guide you when you get lost, you know what I mean? Whether it's your family, whether it's a significant other, just, you know, you gotta hold on close to them. You know, we lost somebody about a year ago that was real close to us, and you know, we're a group of people that we stay together, you know. And when you lose somebody like that, and you didn't have the time to say, hey, I'll see you later, I love you, you know, it just, you know, everybody means more to me right now to do this. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to get at?
Oh yeah.
Like the whole family, you know, I do it for everybody, even the people that are listening, you know, on the air, you know, that feel like they can't do it. You know what I mean? I'm doing it for them too. You know, that's really what I'm doing it for, man. I feel like I was put here to spread something and that could help people. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So that's I feel blessed, man, and I just want to bless other people.
All right, and so we talked to quite a few artists, and we've done a series called The Wave for a couple of years that we interview artists, we interview comedians, we interview models and actresses, and we find that as we go through these interviews, we talk to people, and what I'm also working to find out is, especially from male artists, do you find yourself, do you feel differently, let me put it this way, about how you are attacking your career and how you're grinding after you've had children, or is it the same grind before you had children?
I believe it's always been the same because it's always been a desire of mine. It's never been like a hobby. It's something that I wake up with, go to sleep with, eat with. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been there. It's just always been there. You know, something's always pushed me, do music. And I've tried other things, you know, and, you know, I cut hair, I do this, I do that, I paint cars. It's just, this is something that's always on my mind, you know, and in my heart. Do it because you're going to be able to help somebody.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? That's the way, that's the way I feel about it.
And so, keeping in that same vein, what's your earliest memory that you have of performing in front of an audience? You know, that could be friends, that could be your family at a party situation, you know, that picnic thing, or you know, where they push you in front and they say, you know, this boy he talented. They go up here and do this. What's your earliest memory of performing?
I think my earliest memory is we used to play baseball with my uncle, man. He used to, he was our coach in T-ball and YFL, Pee Wee leagues and stuff. And we were at a swimming party, and buddy of mine, OC, was like, freestyle, Paul, freestyle like you used to. And I would always kick freestyles, but it wasn't like I do now, and I was always embarrassed. And so, I think that was the earliest memory. I mean, it's probably like 9 years old, 10 years old when I was trying to freestyle already. It was just something in me, you know what I mean? And then my dad and them, they were into music. They listened to they had a little band in the neighborhood. They covered Teddy Pendergrass, Bobby Womack, like music like that. And so that kind of just was always in my head, So I think it was about 8 or 9 around that time, in the era that I was trying to spit freestyles to my friends, and I don't think nobody wanted to pay attention.
Well, it's interesting that you threw out a couple of those artists from the real R&B time, and I'm not saying that artists now that do R&B are not talented, but that there's just a flavor to R&B from the artists that you mentioned, a Bobby Womack type artist. Do you find yourself blending some of that into the music that you do now?
Me personally, I never thought about it that way, but I've had people tell me, yeah, man, that sounds like soul music, the type of music that I'm doing. But me, the music I've always tried to aim for was like backyard music. You know what I mean? Barbecue music. That's what that kind of music was to me. I remember them playing records or playing that type of music, and it would just play over and over. And it was, it was Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was, it was just over, and it was something different. You know what I mean? It was never what was really being put out there. To me, it was underground at the time. You know what I mean? I'm sure it was out there on the streets, but to me, people that I knew that wasn't listening to what I was listening to.
Well, they definitely brought you up listening to the classics, because you have mentioned so many people that are part of my everyday world. Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Stevie Wonder and Bobby Womack, and I mean, for some strange reason, I get a flavor for that in some of the music that I've heard from you. That's why I asked you that question, because that's that deep-rooted soul, but it's just like the beginning of hip-hop, where we started off and they had samples of James Brown in the mix. And as it expanded and we went to the West Coast, you found funk and Parliament Funkadelic, part of what the mix was. I can hear some of that in the music that you do. And as you are in this industry, you mentioned that you have collabed with other artists, and you're up to doing that. If you could work with any artist in the industry, I mean, it can be anybody, any genre. It can be R&B, it can be country, it can be rock, it can be hip hop. If you can work with anybody in the industry, who would that be, and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one, but to me, it'd be somebody like Casey and JoJo, somebody like that. Just because of the vibe that they give you when they sing. You know what I mean? It makes you stop and listen and pay attention. And that's what I've always, I guess that's been my goal, you know what I mean? But yeah, like somebody like that, man, like Casey, JoJo, somebody like that. Somebody with some R&B flavor like that. I've always just, something like that. Isley Brothers, I can't leave the Isley Brothers out.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I must be talking to an R&B artist right now. I mean, you kicking in some of the true legends too. Now, we're not talking about lightweights. You throwing some legends out there, and for those artists and those people that are listening to Artists on Deck, go out there and check out some of the names, and you'll find that some of the music you hear now came from those artists.
Yes, and that's what I try to explain to the world now. Like my son, they're into the music right now. Shout outs to like Sam Trilley, all them. They into OT Genesis, and they love that type of music. Fatty. But if you listen to the way they groove and the stuff they say, they just like me, man. They listen to the music that their parents listened to. That's what inspired us to do what we do now.
Well, I
know. You know what I mean? When your mom was cleaning the house and she was jamming, and it was just easy on Sunday morning, or my dad was painting his car, washing his lowrider, and he was jamming, something coming from like Teddy Pendergrass, you know, it was like that, man. You know, that when I grew up, where I grew up, that's the kind of music they played.
Well, I think it makes an artist well-rounded to hear different forms of music. I mean, going all the way through so that you understand as an artist, any artist understands melodies and they understand the rhythms of music. I think it limits artists, and that's any artist, if they only have one genre of music that they hear all the time and then they produce that same music. I don't think they're as rounded as they could or should be, basically.
Right.
And you were brought up with those different influences, and you were brought up around a musical family, and as you're moving forward, what are you going to consider success to be for you when you have achieved that? When you've gotten to a point where you look at it and say, "Wow, okay, I'm successful." What is that point going to be in your life?
Well, first, you know, to make sure, of course, everybody's here to make sure your family's all right. That's the first thing. But I mean, to me, it's like, you know, to give back to people with like epilepsy, you know, because me personally, you know, I have epilepsy. You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of people that really need the help. You know what I mean? And when I'm giving back to people that need the help, and that's when I feel like I've done when I can give back, I guess. You see what I'm saying? When I can give back myself, and it not bother me none, and I know that if it's my last a bit of money, but I still give back, and it's going to help that foundation or this little girl or this kid or somebody that knows my kid, or you know what I mean, something like that. That to me, that's when, you know, you're able to do just about anything. You can help anybody. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and
like that's success to me. You know, when I'm able to be in a situation where I'm either whether emotionally, financially stable to help others. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then I know I've made it. You see? That's how I feel.
And that's something, again, as an artist and as anybody that does if you're able to do something that you have a passion for, you're able to do something and you have a passion for it and you make money, it really, that to me is, you know, that's the best thing in the world to me. If you're able to do something to make money that you love doing.
Yes, and not to get it mistaken, you know, I don't mean just my family. I mean like a kid somewhere in Florida that maybe he felt like nobody cared. You know what I mean? And if I could talk to him, or he could listen to something that I've done, or I can inspire him to not feel that way, then I feel like I've made success. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's not just necessarily for my family. You know, it's to the world. You know, I'm here for that reason. You know, people listen to me. I feel like any artist should think of it that way and say, hey, look, I know that, you know, maybe the type of music I make might not be just, you know, so inspirational to some people, but some other kids might hear that and be like, hey man, that right there just, you know, I feel good. You know what I mean? And it makes them feel good. It really does. You know, any kind of music, whatever type of music, whether it's country, you know, rock, Spanish, whatever they're listening to.
Yeah, and as an artist, you know, I can say this. You know, I'm just being truthful to myself and the interviews that I've done and the people that I run into. It's refreshing to hear an artist that is so passionate about what they do that, yeah, everybody wants to make money and, you know, you want to be successful from a money standpoint. But just to hear that you want your success to be basically gauged by those people that you're able to help, or the people that hear your music, that it will help them. That's an important part to me of being a well-rounded and a true artist to me. And I'm just throwing you some flowers where you can still smell them.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I really do.
And that is no problem. And because of your medical condition, when you're performing, and, you know, this is a strenuous, you know, profession as far as performing is concerned. A lot of people think artists just get up there and they do what they do and they done. There's practice, there is studio sessions, there's late nights, early mornings, and when those that are fortunate enough to travel and to do shows and things like that, being on the road is not this glamorous life. I traveled for years, and
right.
and being in and out of airports and driving from here to Louisiana from Dallas, it's not party. They think you're having fun all the time. And
yes.
Having a medical condition like that. Oh yeah, they do. They think everything is fun. They don't realize that the car may a flat tire, and they don't realize that your flight may be a little bit. You late getting to the airport, so you got to make that mad dash to the plane.
Or go from one stage to another.
Oh yeah, and then you got to get there on time to get your show and get in there, and you're trying to check into your hotel room, and they got the reservation messed up. People don't know the stresses that can happen, but with the medical condition that you have, do you find that you're able to work through it? Do you have to take some precautions to make sure that you don't overdo it? Because that's a heavy really thing to carry and to be a musician to me.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's really just follow whatever they told you to follow. If they need you to sleep, get rest. Make sure you get the sleep and rest. Make sure that if they want you to take pills, make sure you take the pills on time the way you're supposed to. Because there's been a few times issues where I thought, hey man, I ain't taking these. I don't want to take these. You know what I mean? I ain't never took pills my whole life, but the doctor, when the doctor tells you something, I advise everybody to listen.
Hey, you got to. What I mean? You got
to. Yeah, but I mean, in this profession, it really doesn't affect me, as much because in my condition, it only happens when I'm asleep.
Gotcha.
It doesn't happen when I'm, so it's a different. My big thing on my part is rest. And anybody else that if I could give you advice, you have the same issue. It's pretty much just rest, man. Make sure you rest and make sure you have a schedule in your life.
All right, yeah, that's no problem. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. Again, everyone, you are listening to the Get Global Network Artist on Deck series, and we're interviewing Mista Eye right now. Go ahead and introduce the song that we're going to take it into break with, and tell everybody basically what that song is, where you came up with that particular concept, if you remember. It may have been one of those times.
Yeah, this next song right here is called Nautica, man. This is the remix with my boy Spark Dog. Shout out to Spark Dog from Killeen, Texas. That's another artist you need to check out. Making bigger moves. Nautica just came out. Everybody. I grew up from the streets doing what I did. So, I mean, I always still have to wear a Nautica shirt or a polo shirt. I guess you just got to listen to it and you'll feel it.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, you want some wild? I can come and fill your motherfucking stuff. Yeah, you want some wild? Wanna fill your house for the God.
Hey, you could catch me trapping in my Nautica. Hey, I be on the block, yo, low. Hey, you could catch me trapping in my Nautica. Hey, I be on the block, yo, low. Hey, cruising 2 trees. I can tell us what you say, you can pay me. Baller baby, that's what I am, though. They hating on me 'cause I'm making gas. Fade away, switch. Fuck what y'all be on, we be in the bitch. Bottles, it be rose, and I don't even drink, but yeah, these hoes say they loving, I be ballin' like a big pop. Niggas hating on me, but they know I pop. Mighty dollar, sweets made out of koala. Hating on me, yeah, I know we got some problems. Hey, you can catch me trapping at my Nautica. Hey, you can catch me grinding in my polo. Ay, swishing in my 2-3. Fuck with y'all long, y'all know me. Ay, you can catch me trapping at my Nautica. Ay, you can catch me grinding in my polo. Ay, swishing in my 2-3. Fuck with y'all long, y'all know
rapping in my Nautica. I remember trapping in my old clothes. I remember smashing that chick Monica. Ain't matter of fact, you shot out all my old hoes. If your bitch in my hotel, she fucking all of us. Bitches in and out, I'm yelling, keep the door closed. All this we smoke got hotel security calling us. I pick up like I'm in love. I'm from Texas, where the sick is where it started from. I'm from Texas, nigga, tipping down on fofos. To be honest, it don't matter what you call me, bruh. Long as you don't call me bro, that's a no-no.
Ay, you can catch me trapping up my Nautica. Ay, you can catch me grinding in my polo. Ay, swishing in my collar. Fuck y'all long, y'all know me. Ay, you can catch me trapping up my Nautica. Ay, you can catch me grinding in my polo. Ay, swishing in my collar. Fuck y'all long, y'all know me. Ay, you can catch me trapping up my Nautica. You can up. Swishing in my collar, baby. Baller, 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 baby. Yeah. Home. Just swinging bang, 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 with swinging bang, just 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 swinging bang, with swinging bang.
Dipping on the back road, dipping on me in my cup, lean in my cup, lean in my cup. I'm dipping down the back road, dipping down in my cup, lean in my cup, lean in my cup. I'm dipping down the back road, dipping down the back road, lean in my cup, yeah, lean in my cup. Yeah, I'm dipping in the back road, dipping in the back road, lean in my cup, 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 le ayy, lean in my cup, ayy, lean in my cup.
See, I don't understand the reasons why I gotta breathe, but I understand the reasons why I gotta leave. And everything is for a purpose, what they telling me. So why the fuck my people gone and can't come back to me? They keep on fucking with me, it's gonna be a tragedy. I don't fuck with y'all, is that the reason why y'all mad at me? Ball hard, hustle hard, and get your paper. Season passes to the Spurs and then go watch the Lakers. I ain't fucking with you niggas, you ain't bout the paper. Call my bro pork chop and watch him do a favor. Don't be fucking with my squad or my alligators. Getting foes on the back row, we contemplating my next move. Fuck what the rest do. I'm drifting on a lonely Duro, yeah. Smoking something berry, straight out the ordinary. I'm drifting on a lonely Duro, yeah.
Back row, dripping on in my cup, lean in my cup, lean in my cup. I'm dripping down the back row, dripping in my cup, lean in my cup, lean in my cup. I'm dripping down the back row, dripping down the back row, lean in my cup, yeah, lean in my cup, yeah. I'm dripping in the back row, lean in the back row, lean in my cup, ayy, 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 lean in my cup, lean in my cup, lean
it's K Rose, Program Director for Yessurr FM, General Manager for the Get Global Network, and you are listening to the Artist on Deck series. Tonight's interview is with Mista Eye, and we just came back in. We, started off the break with that remix from Nautica with Spark Dog. Ended the next song you heard was Lean in My Cup, and again, you have music for a wide range of people, young people, older people, and that's what I like about what you do. I mentioned to you before we came into the interview, you've got a lot of music, but your music also is done the right way. And I mean by that, it's mixed and it's mastered and it's ready to be presented to the world. And a lot of artists don't do that. Where did you get that mentality as far as how you wanted your music to sound before you let everybody hear it? A lot of people like to let everybody hear the song 5 minutes after they do it. They don't massage it at all. Where did you get that mentality to put that work in before you let the world hear it?
It was a cousin of mine, man. He didn't have nothing to do with music, didn't do music. My cousin Tony, he would always tell me, just don't leak everything, tease him with the music, and he says, if you are going to show him 5 minutes, 10 minutes after, master it as you go. That way, when it's done, it's done. And then, and I just got into that routine of, I'm going to fix it. And then ever since then, every time I do a song, it's mastered and mixed as I'm done. I've always done it like that. It's just, my mentality stuck to it ever since I was a kid. Even recording on tapes, dubbing tapes, I would still master it right then and there as much as I could.
And artists that are listening to the show or listening to the podcast, I know that it's not always possible to do exactly what you just heard from Mista Eye, but you need to get as close to it as possible, I think, because I tell people all the time, you only get one time to make a good first impression. And a lot of songs that we get in the Get Global Network for the stations like Yessurr FM and for the Nexx Level Radio, for other stations that we have as affiliates, when you get that music and it's ready, like we had, like when we got your music, it's no problem with us putting it into the mix with the major artist out there. And I think that you're a great example as a young artist. You're not old, you've been out there a little bit, but you're seasoned. You're a seasoned veteran out there. But you are the perfect artist for our series, Artist on Deck, because we know there are a lot of artists that are getting ready to just burst out and be internationally known. You definitely will be internationally known if we have anything to say about it. And
I appreciate that.
One thing I want to ask you now is, if you could change one thing about your career so far, what would you change, and why would you change that?
Well, I've always said, man, I've always had surrounded myself with the wrong people. If I had another chance to start over, I would have started, and I would have surrounded myself from the people. The gut feeling when I said I shouldn't be messing with them. You see what I'm saying? It's just that's what I would change. It was not the beginning of my career. It's about the middle of my career. That's what I would change. Just some of the people I had around me, man. And not no hate to them. Just the business part of it wasn't right. But I think everything happens for a reason, and I think this is a perfect moment for me, man.
And do you feel that, again, because I can relate to that, do you feel that you grew from the experiences that you had with those people, that they shouldn't have been there at different times in your career? Do you feel you grew from the experience to where hey, I'm not going to make that mistake again?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm a little more wiser, on the decisions that I make, the music that I put out, the way I put it out, where I record, who I record with, what I say to whoever I say it to, it's being caution. It's having caution and it's just being cautious about what you do, I guess. You know what I mean? Just in what you say, and be true to yourself, man. That's what I wasn't doing. I mean, just boils down to not being true to myself, and I was listening to too many other people doing what they wanted. You know, if you stay true to yourself, everything will work out.
Okay, and you mentioned something, because a lot of times the back channel or the break conversation sometimes is more interesting than the interviews get, and a lot of times I don't include or I don't talk about things that I may talk about during a break. But you mentioned something about a time frame in your life that, if you're okay with talking about it, I'd like to kind of just visit it, because I think it brought you to where you are today. Because you had mentioned to me during break that you had basically been, you had some experiences where you had, venues, you had people performing, you had a lot of things going on with that. Tell us a little bit about that part of your life again, so that we can show people how things can work out for the better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a venue around 2007, 2008, and we were pretty much doing kind of what the Coast to Coast does. We're doing a concert series. We had people coming in from all over the place, and it was a fast life. Money was coming fast, people were coming fast. I wasn't paying attention to the people I was around, and of course that's the time that I say I would change. I wasn't paying attention to people coming around me, and I just got caught up in some stuff, and I got out. And felt like everybody was against me, and then I like I said, I got blessed. I got blessed with a second chance. Not too many people get blessed with a second chance, and when you get that second chance, only you can make it, the best of it.
Oh yeah,
only you can make the best of it. You know what I mean?
And you mentioned something in particular that I thought was interesting. You're helping young artists now. You're talking to them about, again, that's what we're supposed to do as the elders in life. You're talking to them about different ways to get their music out and to market themselves and do those things. And you're building your team. Talk to us a little bit about those first moments when you ran into some young people and the way they may have had, or the reception they gave you, or how they may have treated you, and how you may have developed relationships with some of these other people on the team now.
Yeah, like a couple of my guys on the team, shout out to the team, they know who they are. I just, I seen the grind that they had, but the grind that they had was for the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just felt like if I could show them what I know in this industry as far as making the money part of it, even if it's just to pay bills, or whatever type of money they wanted to make, it would keep them away from putting evil in their life. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just talked to them and showed them, how much, like a CD is pretty much, I'll get real specific, like a CD is a bag of dope. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you go sell a CD, and you push it, and it's the same way. You're gonna push it the same way, and then you come back and you buy two. If you get it at a cheaper price from the wholesale price, say they're buying CDs at $3 a piece, $4 a piece from me, they go sell them for $10. They're making $6. That keeps them off the streets. They're making the same kind of money, but in this industry, and it teaches them a different type of business, to where they're like, oh man, well, I wanted to push my CD. Well, I can push my CD this way. Then I can go to a different person and tell him, hey, if you buy CDs in bulk, I'll give them to you at this price. And the business just gets bigger and bigger. It gets their mind out of, like I like to say, out of the gutter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They get to see the light. You know what I mean? And it's better for them. They don't have their people worrying about them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just, there's other ways, man, to make money, and just because artists talk about it, it's just something that we did before, or something we, you know what I mean, that it's been part of our life. Doesn't mean that that's what we want you to go do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the way, that's the way to make money off this music. If you want to be a street artist, well, that's how you do it. You wrap up your music in plastic and you go feed the world. You get them addicted to it.
And you said something at the very beginning of that. You said basically this is a business. That's what this is. And there are different levels of this business, and there are different ways to be successful in this business. Everyone does not need to be an artist, because some people, and You know, I piss people off all the time. Everybody shouldn't try to be an artist. I'm really,
I agree.
I try and say that. I mean, but there are some people that are better producers than artists. There are some people that are better on the street team side and the publicity side and the social media side. So pick your lane if you want to be in this industry. You know, pick your lane. And don't get upset because you can't be in the other lane. That's the other part about this, because I'm sure as a, you know, as an artist, you run into some people who think it's like the gunslingers back in the West. You know, they come at you, I'm sure, especially as a hip hop, as a rap artist. There's a lot of ego in rap.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, there's so much ego, you know, and I think that's what kills a lot of these good artists too. You know what I mean? Is ego. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, you got to look where you came from, where you started from. You were there, you know what I mean, at the beginning. You know, and once you get to a certain level, I don't think, you know, and then that's another thing. Some artists, too, some people out there think you have the ego because you got to charge. You see what I'm saying? So then it's kind of one of them things where some people put up a guard, but, you know, the ego thing is just, you know, everybody got to let it go, man. You know how good you are. You know if you're better than the next man. You know that by heart. So ain't no reason for you to just be, you know, pulling it out there like that. You know what I mean? I guess putting it out there like that, you know. My thing, though, you know, like the ego thing is just like, hey, man, like I learned it from Coast to Coast when I went and did Coast to Coast. I'm sure people heard of that. Mm-hmm. You know, shout outs to Coast to Coast. You know, no egos. That's one of the biggest things they tell you, no egos, and it's probably one of the coolest events I've ever been to, you know, because they stick to that rule, no egos. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, it's crazy out there right now, man.
No, it ain't even just now, right now. It's been that way for a while, but, you know, when you are a good artist, you should recognize your talent, but you should always be humble enough to work with different people, to learn from different people. And those young people that are, again, listening to the podcast or listening to the show, just, you know, make sure you're humble, because there's always someone that's going to come next that may be just as good, or even now, not next. There are people that are just as good as you are as an artist. There are just people that are just as good as I am as a general manager. Not really, but you know, there are people.
I think that, you know, that's this business, man, is stay humble, be humble. You know, that's the number one rule. Everything else will work out. If you're humble, people notice that.
You got to be humble, but you also have to be confident. And it's a difference. You know, it's different from being confident and have a swagger to you and being arrogant out there.
Yes.
You know, you can be humble and still be confident. You can be like, you know, Jordan used to do and go to the free throw line against the rookies and close your eyes and shoot your free throws, because you know you're going to dunk on them anyway if they try and act up on you. And so
right.
you can do what you need to do, but be humble in how you do it, but be confident. And as we wrap up the interview, I have, you know, a question that I always ask everyone, just to kind of get a flavor for what may be new out there that I don't know about, or just to get a flavor for who you're listening to. You know, when you jump in the car right now, you know, back in my day, I'm old enough to remember the dreaded, which you may not even know what it is, but you know what an 8-track is, because you're an old soul. But, you know, 8-tracks and cassettes, you know, but you jump in the car, you punch that bad boy in there. Well, right now, if we jumped in your car, other than Mista Eye, who are you listening to right now if we jump in your car?
Man, I still got to tell you, I'm still on that Pimp C stuff, man.
Okay.
You know, I'm from Texas. You know, I can't, you know, and I just can't let that South music go. You know what I mean? I listen to just pretty much everybody from the H-Town. Shout out to H-Town, man. I just anybody from Texas.
No, that's real. That is something that,
and I just got to keep it real, man.
Yeah, and again,
but don't get me wrong, I love every type of music, man. You catch me in there listening to any kind of music, you know. I like it all, man.
Okay, no, that's the way we do it. Again, this has been the Artist on Deck series for Get Global Network. I want to end the interview with Mista Eye. I want you to tell everybody again, how do they connect with you? Period. Social media, man, internet, everything.
Excuse me. Just again, man, get at me at www.facebook.com/ Mista Eye. Again, that's Mistaeye. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram. I mean, you can even hit me up on the email, 6661 mistaeye@gmail.com. And make sure you check me out on YouTube. Leave a comment. I can get back at you like that, too.
All right, everybody. This, again, you have been listening to the Get Global Network Artist on Deck series. We're going to take it out tonight with another song from Mista E. We're going to end the interview with Money on the Right Side. Again, thanks, everybody, for listening, and check out the podcast. Follow us on iTunes, Spreaker, Network, Google Play. Follow the podcast, follow the series. We'll have other great artists just like Mista Eye. And check his music out on Nexx Level Radio, Yessurr FM, Oak Cliff Nation Radio, Big Red Radio Nation, several nations in the Get Global Network. Appreciate everybody for listening. And again, this is K. Rose, General Manager.
This is a Brian Yessurr production.
I ain't got money, yes, I got money on the west side. I got money on the east side, yeah. I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah. I got money on the north side. I got money on the south side. I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah. I got money from the right side. I get money from the left side. I get money in the daytime. I get money in the nighttime, yeah. I got money on the left side. I got money on the right side. I be whipping like 3-4 just to make money, yeah. I gotta make that money. I never thought I'd be in this situation. I never thought I'd be the man. I never thought I'd be the man. I never knew. I never knew.
It's a Brian Yessurr production.
Money comes so fast. I'm getting money on the left side. Money comes so fast. I'm getting money on the left side. I got money on the west side. I got money on the east side. Yeah. I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah. I got money on the north side. I got money on the south side. I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah. I got money from the right side. Nice, yeah. I see they wanna hate me. But I don't really give a fuck, no. I don't really give a damn, no. On the scene with Thug Life. Give a fuck what they gon' say. We get it all night. Sippin' bottles of that motherfucking 18. Talking all this shit, but they can't phase me. I'm on getting like I'm supposed to. Money come my way, nigga. Fuck nigga, oh who? Fuck nigga, oh who? I'm back up in the scenery. I'm back up in high off the greenery. Yeah, you know it's meaning me. Yeah, you know it's meaning me. Doing what I gotta do. Doing what I gotta. Making money like I'm supposed to. What I do. What I little hacks. Flip rack. And I stay away from all these hood rats, all these trap rats. Sitting on my homie dogs. And I can't fuck with all these bitches cause they super fraud. They super high. Point to the sky. Ain't for the stars, nigga. Watch my money multiply. Fuck what they on. I know that they so super fake. Stay away from everything, nigga. I already didn't know my fate. Dirt put me on. Now here's the world times. Fuck what they on, nigga. Universal to worldwide. I'm on my grind, getting money till I'm so gone. RP to my people like so gone. I'm back like last week. RP to my people like so gone. You. I got money on the west side. I got money on the east side. Yeah, I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah. I got money on the north side. I got money on the north side. I got money on the south side. I got money like it's worldwide. I got money, yeah.